Hi, everybody. Matsi-san, welcome back. I have a very special guest for you. She is an amazing woman. She really is. Her energy is contagious, and she has no excuses. She does anything that she wants to do. It seems like to me, anyway, that if she's got something that she wants to focus on, she does it, right? She's an amazing healer. She's a martial artist. I mean, incredible martial artist. You really need to check out her YouTube channels or just her martial arts page and all the different productions that she's created. It's incredible. She's a sound healer. You're a Reiki master, correct?
That's
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, Reiki master. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I really want you to meet this lady because she's bad. You can't be around her and not be inspired.
Oh,
Right? So everybody, welcome, please, Victoria Vives.
thank you so much, Matt. And I have to say my appreciation to you as well because you are an amazing person, and I'm always touched by the interview we had time ago.
Yes.
You are a very inspirational person as well.
Well, thank you very much, Fee. But today we're talking about you. So I know how great you are, right? But I would like my listeners to know how great you are. Can you just I gave them a quick update about what you do, but in your own words, can you let them know what you do?
Well, I guess that at this point in my life, what I realize is that we are all part of something greater. So we are all playing a very important part in this life.
Right.
So even people that may be doing something that looks less meaningful are essential to the greater whole. And in my case, at this point, I'm encouraging and inspiring as many people as possible to follow their true dreams, to understand that they are powerful beyond measure. So it is a matter of just trusting ourselves and following our bliss.
Now, that was a great explanation. So what kind of tools do you use to help people find their bliss?
Good question. Good question. I feel we have so many tools. So, as you know, and you mentioned, before I was doing a lot of martial arts.
Right.
And I feel that sometimes we need that empowerment. We need that courage and that inspiration about becoming, our superheroes inside.
Yeah.
So I have, as you know, the 5 superhero secrets,
Yes.
which are a process in which we can gain that power back, restore that power.
Right.
So that would be one of the ways. And then for people who already feel that they have regained the power, then I offer also healing classes so that we all can become a transformational force in this world through becoming healers. So I teach crystal healing, Reiki, shamanism. I teach many different styles of healing so that people can become positive forces in the world and continue this transformation. And then one more thing that I also know is art. So I have a background in, working in Hollywood as a dancer and singer and actress. So I brought that feeling of music into healing.
Right.
So I also offer a lot of sound healing, music that is very healing in itself, not only because of the words of the lyrics, but also because of the music with singing flute tones, which is a very high pitch that can bring healing, as well as infusing that music with Reiki.
Wow, that's incredible. I want to hear a lot more about that, right? And we're going to talk more about that because that's just fascinating. I've never myself haven't dived into sound healing. Right?
Oh.
So I want to I want to definitely know more about that. But you just said something that I found very interesting. Because usually when somebody comes to you for healing or comes to a practitioner for healing, they're just wanting to heal themselves. But you just talked about healing somebody so that they can become healers naturally to affect other people around them.
Right, that's what I'm very passionate about. So sometimes people will call me for a session and I say, for almost the same price, you can come to a full day class and become a healer yourself so that you can become a powerful force in your home, taking care of your family members, your friends, yourself, and that truly can transform the world. It is about the change that we do within ourselves. if we are able, each of us, to take care of just our emotions, our feelings, we are going to become a much more positive influence to others as well. So I really feel that at this point in our lives, we are ready to become, to take responsibility a little bit for what we are projecting into this world. Sometimes we don't realize, but it is the same to be a healer than to be a hater. It's just a different energy.
Right.
So if we go throughout the day and we are angry and we are, looking bad at someone or talking bad at someone, that is going to create a chain, meaning that someone is going to change their mood already. And when they go to see somebody else, they're going to be already upset. And, that goes forward into many people. It can affect many people. On the other hand, the same applies when we are able to touch the lives of people in a positive way.
Yeah.
They may feel inspired. Maybe I share something with you and you share it with someone, and then someone shared it with someone else. So we don't realize how powerful we are, and that is amazing to me. So I encourage each person that is looking at this video right now to really understand that and start using it.
That's neat because that reminds me of a short video I saw a long time ago. It was made in India. It was probably about, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes long, right? And it was fast. It was fast, so the frames were fast. It was moving, right? And it was just basically showing one frame of somebody doing something nasty to somebody. And then that person walked off and did something nasty to somebody else, and that person walked off and did something nasty to somebody else. It was a whole chain. And then at the end of that negative chain, finally somebody kind of stood up and said, the heck with that. I'm going to be nice to someone. That person turned around, became nice to somebody, and then it was a really neat movie because it showed a whole chain of how things happen. Right? So that's incredible. I mean, that's amazing. You are just, I just adore you so much because your energy is absolutely contagious. You can't not be happy around you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
So I'm looking at your blog right now, and again, one of the things I just find so fascinating about you is that you're just a non-stop machine. Right? you have all these things that you do, and you do.
Can I say something about that?
Yes.
Because this is a big learning that I had throughout last year, that I used to say to myself that I was a machine. And I realized I had to transform that into being a temple.
Nice.
And it totally changed my perspective, because I had that feeling, I have such a drive to change things and make things better that I felt my body is my machine. And I lost a little bit of respect for myself,
Right.
So that was very challenging to me because our minds and our spirit are so boundless that sometimes we don't realize we are in a physical body, and I do think that I do a lot of things, and I'm very fortunate and appreciative of this, and yet we have to honor ourselves as temples.
Well, it's incredible. You and your temple, and the temple that you are. Again, you do so many things, but the thing that I like about you is that you do everything very well.
Oh,
right?
nice.
I mean, there are a lot of people who do lots of things. I see it in the healing community many times over. And they do lots of things, but they might do one thing well and everything else just so-so.
Oh.
Right? I mean, I'm looking at your website right now. You guys have to go to her website, victoriavives.com. Right? And I'll put a link right here. Right there. You have to check it out because everything she does from the martial arts action, from the videos to the sound quality, the quality of the production, to all the healing things she does. And I know recently you just did an amazing international healing community, right? Well, actually, let's go there because I can bring you up all day long. Right? So, but that healing community, so it was really neat. So can you just describe what you did? It was for YouTube, and it got out to everybody, and everybody all over the world was actually chanting and meditating with you.
This was just one of the most blissful experiences I had. So thank you for bringing that up. And what happened is that I actually just respond to somebody who asked me to guide this. So it wasn't my idea, but somebody asked me, and I said, sure, it sounds really good. I'm very busy, but I feel I should give an opportunity to this. And I feel that when we want to transform the world, we need to be of service within what we enjoy.
Yeah.
So this person asked me for this, and I feel my responsibility in being of service is to answer yes, as long as it is in alignment with my path. And it was.
Nice. Nice.
So what happened is that we knew about this meditation experiment that was done in which 7,000 people got together to meditate. And this decreased their crime in the whole world in a 72%.
Was that the meditation in Washington? Is that correct?
I think so.
Okay.
I think it's that one. So because of that, I feel that we should do this more often.
Right.
It's once again what we were talking about. We have more influence in the world than we realize. So imagine that day we got together for an hour, and maybe the people that got together would have been maybe sad or angry or maybe happy on their own. But the fact of getting together with a strong intention for peace and chanting, which puts also our voices, which are very powerful and can really travel through the world. One of the things of sound is that in order for sound to occur, it has to be transferred through molecules of air or body tissue, water, so it really affects and sends energy forward.
Right.
So in this case, we were chanting all around the world, and some of the people actually were meeting in communities. So that means here here maybe we were like 7 or 8 people. In London, maybe another 8 people, in another place, so all around the world.
I didn't even consider that. Right.
Yes, and then we were all chanting the same, with good energy, with good intention, with healing sounds. And this, obviously, our intention is very powerful. And beyond our intention is our voices. And then after that is our actions. So all of this together really can create transformation. And I'm looking forward to do this again. Actually, it was amazing. You could feel the energy,
Oh, no, incredible. It's again, I love that. Like you just said, I was only envisioning one person at a time on a YouTube screen, but communities coming together to join. Holy cow, that's excellent.
Thank you.
You should be very proud about that. Wow.
I'm just blessed that somebody asked me to do it. Right?
Well, that's neat, right? Let's go there for a second, because like when you are in alignment with your path, things kind of just get sent to you, right?
Right.
I mean, can you clarify that and expand on that?
Sure. We all have so much information coming to us at each second. We have I think it's 2 million bits of information coming to us at each second. So we cannot make sense of everything, right?
Yeah.
So then we have these filters that are able to just bring in what we are focused on.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not what is better for us, because these filters have been placed there since we were small. And some of them are really needing to be replaced for something new. So in this case, imagine that my priority would be to make money, for example. So maybe somebody asked me, do you want to do this? No, because I prefer to find a job, or I prefer to sell something or whatever, So then obviously I would say no. But since I'm here following my passion, which is transforming the world for the better, all together, and this is such a great opportunity for being all together. It's not about one person or a group of leaders. It really takes all of us. Each of us, each person can be the leader for another person. So it's the only way in which we can really change the world. If all of us become leaders, even if it is for one other person. So in this case, all of us got together, and because I'm in alignment with this purpose, obviously as soon as he told me, I said yes. So I always recommend for people to follow their dreams. Sometimes we don't realize that they can actually sustain our lives and even give us more wealth than doing something that we don't love. But would you say?
No, that sounds excellent, and I think that answers my question. I had a question in my mind that I was going to ask you, because you said if something comes to me, I'm willing to be of service, but only if it's in alignment with what I'm doing, with who I
Yes.
am. And I think that answers my question. I think because again, I'm just amazed again by your energy and how you keep your energy up. But I'm seeing now you have such a specific idea of your purpose, right? And you don't waste energy because you're actually staying on your path, right? Because people who I see a lot of people who do many things, but they're wasted and they're drawn and they're tired, and it's because they overextend themselves out of their path, right?
You know what? And something about this is that you are saying is so important because our passion normally don't stay in the same spot all the time. So what I realized over the years is that all the steps that I took me where I am. So martial arts was such a passion for me. It was such a core thing in my life. However, at this moment, that passion transferred to something else. And yet I keep that martial arts knowledge inside me and I can still use it. But it's just one of the tools. So throughout our lives, our passion guides us to take all the tools that we need in order to better share our gift. And then we graduate in that and we go to the next level that we cannot even imagine yet. And all those tools come so handy to really help us be there where we really want to be. So it changes all the time.
So some people will go from one passion to a next passion without really completing the passion that they were on. And it just kind of leaves something, it almost seems like they're unfulfilled, so they jump to something else, right? How do you know when a certain passion has been saturated?
Well, I think if we wake up and we are eager to do something, then that passion is still important for us to follow.
Okay.
If we wake up and that feeling is in something else, maybe it's about time to change. And obviously, it takes a little bit of a process to change from
Right.
one thing to the other. Sometimes we have commitments that we have to complete. Sometimes that past passion is the foundation for the new one, and we
Right.
need to continue there. But I see it a little bit as if it would be a building with
Okay.
tons of stories, and then we always have like maybe 3 stories, you know, like level 1, level 2, level 3, and then we go up, and the level 2,
I
which
see.
was very exciting, has become the foundation now.
Yeah.
But now we have a new one. So then we continue going up. So the old things can become the foundation. For example,
Yeah.
if we are in a 9 to 5 job, but we really love to paint, and then we start painting, that may become our 9 to 5 job. And then maybe we have another amazing thing that we want to do, such as, I don't know, singing. So maybe now we're making a living with painting, and that is better than having the old job.
Right.
But we may have to keep that for a while until we can make money out of singing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel that the past is always a little bit the foundation, and it continues going up and up, even more than we can even imagine.
Now, let's say somebody comes to you and they say, V, I call you V, right? So, V, I'm here at this particular base of my life, 9 to 5, and I want to transition over here because I'm an artist and I really want to be an artist, but I'm scared to take that leap. I'm holding on to my 9 to 5 because it's what's, bringing me all my money right now, and the idea of being an artist is absolutely scary for me. Like, how would you help somebody like that, or what would you tell them?
Okay, so one important thing is that each of us is unique, and each of our situations is very unique too.
Yeah.
So in one way, I would share my experience, and in another way, I would also want to learn more about their situation.
Yeah.
My experience, something that happened about a year and a half ago, is that I was transitioning from being a voiceover for a company into teaching healing, energy healing. And it was the one of the times that I really, really wanted to just dedicate to teach energy healing. And I didn't want to do that voiceover job because using my voice for doing something that I don't believe in felt like betraying myself.
Wow.
So I was doing voiceover. It was really well paid. They treat me really good. I really love doing voiceovers. It's a lot of fun. However, what my message in that voiceover was a script, and I didn't agree with the script. I was being called several times. It was great. And finally, I had to choose, am I going to be here for the money and because it's very nice and I love it, even though it's against my ethics, it's against what I believe, or I'm going to say no, and maybe I'm going to be short on money. What I'm going to do, it's a tough situation, so I can relate to people that may be in that situation. So finally, I decided to say no to the job and just ask my higher self and a higher power to really honor what I was doing and show me a path so that I jump in the void, but I am rescued. And that was the first month that I actually made the same money teaching in one day that I was doing a voiceover in one day.
Wow, that's great. That's a great story. That's very inspiring. Wow, wow, wow. And that actually answers a question I asked before. When somebody's jumping from passion to passion, and you just gave a wonderful example of that, because when that other passion starts to get in the way, I guess, of your path or your life, and it starts bringing down your energy, and there's another passion that wants to come in, maybe you should start putting your focus on that other passion. Right? Wow, excellent, amazing, amazing. Wow. Okay. Now, so I wanted to talk to you and share about how to find your true purpose, right? But let me ask this question first. How does a person define what their true purpose is?
Well, really, I think our true purpose is to create ourselves, to decide who we want to be in this life. So this is not just about career, obviously. It is also about who we want to be as a person. Do we want to be a family member, meaning maybe we want to have kids and be a mother or a father or a spouse? So who we want to become, what are we excited to become? I feel that is our life purpose, and it's something that it doesn't stay in one place. It's going to always evolve.
Right.
And when we reach what we thought was what we wanted, from there, new opportunities open and we will see different things. So I would say when you see somebody outside yourself, they are acting as a reflection of who we are. So they may be a shadow self reflection or a bright self reflection. So if it is a shadow self reflection, that may be somebody that irritates us, and we really get pissed off, and that is actually reflecting something inside ourselves that we don't understand exactly how it is, but it is representing something in ourselves that we may want to improve.
Now, I'm sorry, but what did you call it? What kind of self? A shovel self?
Shadow.
Shovel, like a tool?
Shadow.
Oh, shuttle.
Shadow.
Oh, shadow self. Got it. Sorry. Okay, shadow self. Got it.
So it would be the shadow self and the bright
self. Versus. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So those are kind of our guides, actually. Yeah. And that help us realizing what we really want to become in life. When something is representing our shadow, that means, okay, there is something in me related to that I should transform into something that I like better. Mm-hmm. And when we see something that we admire, that means in that way is what I really want to become.
Okay.
So what happens sometimes is that the bright self may be something that we are not believing that we can accomplish. And in that case, what happens is that jealousy or envy may appear, and that is going to send it away from us. Whereas if we start admiring that and seeing, okay, that is my guide for what I can become, and I'm going to make that something I look up to,
Yeah.
then we can start transforming into that. So maybe somebody really wants to be like, I don't know, Mariah Carey, and so that at that moment maybe part of their life purpose to become more of that, or they really feel heartfelt when they see a family with kids, so maybe it is time to focus on that. So I feel that our life purpose is to experience all those things that we really want.
That's an interesting take. Okay, so if I'm hearing this correctly, right? What you're saying, this I guess one of the ways, not the only way, right? But is you're using the outside world to let you know where you are at any moment in time, right? So that will let you know if you're on path or out of path, or if you need a new path.
I feel that it gives us a signal of where to move next, because it awakens something within us.
Right.
And it is easier to see it outside. It's like having a mirror and say, oh, my head is not looking good,
Yeah.
So when we look at each other, we can say, oh, this is triggering something in me, which means I should transform in this way to be more of who I want to be.
Yeah.
So I feel that the place to be and the way to be in our purpose is to be who you want to be, to really become all that self-actualization continuously, continuously self-actualize.
Yeah. Okay, that's neat. Because again, so you're using the events, the scenes, the situations that you're in to let you know whether you're on track and whether you're off track. Wow, that's neat. Right? Because, of course, obviously, if somebody's always feeling sad or angry inside, they're going to create angry and sad situations, and they're going to see angry and sad people, angry and sad events, and it's just going to make them more angry if they don't wake up to it.
Right, and that is something important that you are saying, because looking outside doesn't mean that we are going to fight that war outside, but instead that we are going to recognize that as a reflection from our inside. So when something is triggered inside of us, we're going to go within and see, what is this here?
Nice.
Why am I feeling like that? How can I transform it?
So you have them inside. You're using whatever tool I guess you can use to say, what's your situation like, and then you get them inside themselves. Right? What if somebody is full of anger and rage, right? And you find that inside of them, how do you move them through that?
Well,
One of the ways. I'm sure you have many ways, right?
I feel that when we are feeling anger, it is actually kind of a disguise, meaning that behind that anger, there may be fear or sadness or pain. So many times when we create that mask around us, is because we don't want to show our vulnerability.
Yeah.
And this is a very delicate situation, because when you have somebody angry, maybe our tendency is to react angry as well. So that is going to build more that barrier and create a bigger wound in that person. So it's a complicated situation, and I think it is necessary to develop trust so that that person can open their heart. So that we can reach a safe space, a safe container where that person can actually relax and be able to share from heart to heart. And say, I may be vulnerable, but I trust you and I am okay opening to you.
That's such a great point. Sometimes when I'm teaching a workshop, I'm teaching other hypnotherapists, and I see some other therapists, especially if they've had a really stoic kind of training, right? Like a machinish type training, and they're sitting there and they're asking their questions in this very stoic way, and like, well, how do you feel today? And it's like there's no heart there,
right? And that is essential.
I think. I mean, tell me what you think, but I think heart. If you can show that heart and the client can feel it, that's 50% of the way there.
Absolutely, that's all that we need. In fact, all healing comes from the heart, and people are able to heal themselves. So we only have to provide a space where they can find that safety, and they can reconnect with their own self and their own power. So as long as we provide that, it doesn't matter which technique we're using
Yes,
or
I agree.
how many certificates we have.
Yes.
It's just that feeling so that the person can open and heal themselves.
Now, yeah, I love that. I love that. And I love what you just said. Okay, so you're providing the idea, and I love how humble this is, because it's the idea that you're not healing the person. You're just allowing the person to step inside of their own real self with comfort and ease and relaxation so that they can heal themselves.
Right, we're giving them an opportunity. Maybe they didn't have that opportunity. Maybe their parents were too rough or their schoolmates were too rough, so they didn't have that opportunity to open up and see what is inside. So if we come here and we just provide that, that's all that they need.
Wow.
And of course, all the tools are very powerful and are ways of approaching people and helping the subconscious mind to come through and resolve things at a long term. But yes, the hard space.
I love that. I really love that. That's an amazing way of looking at it, because again, that really takes you, the counselor, the therapist, the healer, out of the equation, really. And it's really helping people find their own way. And so many people have just lost their way, especially in the society now and what's happening, everything. We have to find our way back home, right? Wow. Okay. Now, originally you are from
Spain.
Eh? Now, when did you come to America?
Well, so right now it's over 10 years.
Well, when did I meet you? Like 5 years ago, maybe? Okay.
I would say it's 4.
4 years ago.
I think it was 4 years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Now, what brought you from Spain to LA?
You see, so that is one of the things that I totally follow my purpose. I felt that call to be here. I always lived in Spain and I was traveling every time I had an opportunity, to London, to Mexico, to New York, anywhere. And then the first time I came here to Los Angeles,
Yeah.
I totally fell in love with this place. And there is something funny because most people think, okay, maybe because it's sunny or because, I don't know, the entertainment industry, since I was working on that all the time. But really what made me want to live here all my life is to be able to see the sky wherever I am. So what I mean is that in Spain, in Madrid, everything is more like in New York. So in order to see the sky, you have to actually remember that there is a sky and look up. Otherwise, you only see bricks and buildings in front of you. And it's so important that we realize that all the healing we may look for is many times in nature, in connecting with the earth, the elements, the sky. The fact of looking at the sky and seeing an opening, like the mountains, the trees, all of that has a powerful effect in our hearts, in our bodies. And most of our times we are especially here in Los Angeles, sometimes we are in freeways in the car, or places like New York, always surrounded by buildings. So I felt that if I come here to Los Angeles, of course I'm going to have the benefit of the sunny days, that is beautiful, and the benefit of the entertainment industry in Hollywood, which I was a part in. But more than anything, the possibility to always feel that heavenly presence in my life. So that was a big thing for me.
I'm just curious. I mean, in Spain, you couldn't do that?
Seriously, in Madrid, I was working in television and I remember seriously always going, running. And all that you see are buildings. There is no open spaces. I don't know if you are very familiar with Los Angeles. I know that
Los Angeles,
you met a little bit here. But normally you have a very wide, broad view.
Right.
So right now when I'm sitting, I can see the sky,
Right.
Whereas if I would be in Madrid, I would see another building in front of me. And that is not healthy for us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we really have lost our way with nature. I mean, in many ways, right? Especially, with all the electronics and all the gadgets we have, everybody's looking down,
Right.
Right? Wow. Okay, but I'm still going to visit Spain one day.
Oh yeah, and I love it. And the food is amazing. Okay,
Oh.
the food is really, really good.
Now, when I talk to other quote unquote healers or people like I really don't like that word to tell you the truth, but when I talk to other people who help other people find their ways home to them to their house to their heart, there generally tends to be something in their lives that they went through that might have been a little touchy or a little rough. Now, did you ever have anything like that in your life that said,
Well, yes, I think that is our initiation as healers, you know, or being in the path of being a practitioner in any way, that we really have had challenges, and that is what helped us relate to other people. So talking about that, and also coming to here to the US, I came here and it was totally not planned. Like it was like a friend was coming and I said, okay, I'll go too, you know. So I found myself here with um, $14 after a month, and I didn't find a job yet. I didn't know English. I didn't have a car. I didn't know anyone. It was a terrible situation, you know, and I had this $14 and a flight ticket to come back to Spain. So, you know, most people would come back to Spain. So I called my family. I asked for help, but they couldn't do it at that moment. So I had that
yeah,
that airplane ticket and $14. Maybe it was 17. I don't remember. But that's all I had. And you know, I asked my heart, and what I believe is that our hearts can always look beyond the physical senses. Our heart knows things that we don't know yet. And I asked my heart, and my heart said that I cannot live without this sky. You know, I had to stay here, and that's all I could understand at that moment. So I lost that airplane back to Spain. I thought maybe I have to sleep in the streets. I have no idea what is going to happen,
wow.
but I need to stay. So that day, I found my first job here in Los Angeles.
That's amazing. It sounds like you've really got a strong connection to your heart because you're like willing. I mean, you're willing to put yourself there in a homeless situation to listen to your heart.
You know, seriously, for me at that moment, if I would come back to Spain, I would feel dead
Yeah.
in my heart. So for me, there was no choice. And, you know, at that time, I couldn't understand the complexity of my presence here in Los Angeles. The more I'm here, I understand it is not just about that looking at the sky is relaxing. It's also a connection with other realms,
Right.
and you know, and what I can do here in the US that maybe I couldn't do in Spain. So I understand more that it is part of my my
Yeah.
how to share my gift in the world. So we always have more assistance than we believe. And when we trust that and we create a strong connection with that, miracles occur all the time.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And you could feel it coming for you. I mean, you're just all heart. I just love it. Now, what would you recommend for somebody who is going through a hardship right now? What kind of suggestions or thoughts would you give them?
Okay. Well, you know, there are so many things that we can do, and sometimes when we are in a place that is so difficult of hardship, we may not be able to think of all those things. So sometimes it helps to have like an emergency notepad where you have written things that you can do.
Okay.
So normally you write that emergency journal or book in a time that you are feeling at your best.
Okay.
You know, what are the things that make you smile? What are the things that other people say about you that are positive? For sure, always going to nature is going to lift anyone because it brings us into harmony.
Right.
So if they have an opportunity to go to a park, go to the ocean, go to the mountains, even look for pictures of nature, all of that can help for reconnecting with their well-being. Also taking 5 minutes and just focusing on their breathing and just breathing deeply, closing their eyes and feeling their body,
Yeah.
how that air is cleansing. And visualization can be very powerful, as you will know.
Sure.
Our intentions, our visualization are going to guide our energy and transform it actually. So start visualizing your energetic field, your body shining with light. All of those things can certainly help. Whatever is your situation right now, just take a couple of deep breaths, visualizing your body filled with light,
Yeah.
and that can certainly change how you feel. Taking some time for yourself.
Wow. Well, yeah, you've got some amazing advice for people, and I really hope they find you. I mean, you're doing such a great job getting yourself out there anyway. And what's a website or a place where they can find you?
The best one is victoriavives.com.
Okay.
And that is victoriavives.com. In that one, I have links to my other websites because I have like 10 or 12. So from there, they can go to
I know you have so many, but they're all done very well. That's why I'm so surprised about it. Okay, but before we finish this, I want to know, okay, so how did you get started in music and sound healings and what's sacred frequencies? Can you talk about that for a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, so, throughout all my career, since I was small, even before I started working or anything, music has been something that always helped me feeling in a positive mood and being able to awaken in me certain feelings. So I was working in television or going on tours, singing or dancing, all related to music, but I didn't realize how powerful this can be. It's something that we are used to, but we don't realize the effect it can have on us.
Yeah.
So finally, when I started in healing, I left Hollywood, and then I realized, music actually, it is one of the most healing things that I can think of. And so I started combining both.
Okay.
And the sacred frequencies is something that is becoming so powerful for many people and for myself, which is actually channeling sounds that can help us in certain issues in our lives. So these sounds many times are in a very high pitch, which balances our energy and brings the possibility of embodying something of a higher frequency.
Okay.
So that means normally low frequency sounds are really good for example, like moving your body and being physically oriented. Whereas if we go to very high pitched frequencies, are going to be more of a healing for the heart, for the spirit. So things such as violins in classical music, like Mozart, all of that can help also very much bringing some frequencies that we can embody and transform our world so that we raise our vibration together also.
That's interesting. I never thought about it that way. So higher frequencies are more for calming and healing, and
higher frequencies in general are going to raise our energy, our frequency, and are less related to the physical. And the physical is very important. The physical is very, very important for sure because it's our foundation.
Yeah.
But we want to expand from the physical into a more emotional, mental, spiritual perspective so that we can be a full human being in all its range.
Nice.
Instead to just stay always, in just the physical. So this can help with that expansion.
I think that's a great, because sometimes people are too much in the physical, but sometimes people are too much in the spiritual, right? So
right, we need both. We need both.
Okay. So you have a few things going on right now. Like for example, you have the chanting for peace, right?
Yes, that's what we did, and I would like to do it again because it was such an amazing experience. And this was on a weekday, so now we want to do it on a weekend so that we are even more people.
Wow.
And that we're going to do for sure. I also have the Crystal Healer course online. So crystals are another thing that are very, very powerful healers. And sometimes we just need to put them on the shelf and they're going to have an effect on us. They are so different from us because we have always these emotions that take us out of balance. So we are always balancing ourselves. Whereas crystals are always stable. They have minimal entropy in their structure. So when we interact with crystals, they help us become more peaceful and raise our frequency as well.
Well, I got to do more research on crystals then. Victoria, it was absolutely wonderful interviewing you, and I hope I hope a lot of people glean a lot of good information from you, and mostly just feel your heart and your energy. Is there anything else that you can share with us that you're doing right now, or just we got the website, we got the your course? Go ahead.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to read on Facebook, I do my best to really have a lot of friends because I feel that, you know, that's where everything comes from, to be connected and becoming more empowered, knowing that we are all together in this. Yeah. We are not isolated as we sometimes may feel, but we are connected. And this reminds me also, one of the big projects that I'm working on right now is to start an intentional community. So I don't know if you heard of intentional communities.
Well, I can have an idea of what it is. Is there?
Okay, so it is basically to live in a way that you believe to be positive, meaning instead to say, oh, you know, I don't like the government because they're not doing this and this is so bad and this is blah, blah, blah. So instead, let's create something new. So that's what I'm creating. I'm in the process of creating an intentional community, which is like a village where we all can live in peace and in harmony with nature. So this is going to be a place where people can come for relaxing for a weekend, for take a workshop, or for living there with us in a way that we, you know, grow our organic foods, that we have solar power, that we learn things spiritually also that otherwise sometimes it's not so easy to do.
Where do you plan on, or where do you want to do this?
We are actually right now looking for land in Los Angeles. So our idea is in Los Angeles County. We feel that is a place that needs it.
Yes, definitely. Now, for those people who don't know, because anybody outside of Los Angeles tends to think Hollywood and right, and think of just like streets and stuff. But Los Angeles has got some really pretty and beautiful areas.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Outside of the city, there's some amazing areas, or even sometimes within the cities, there's some amazing areas. Right? Victoria, again, thank you so much for doing this, and
thank you.
I hope again everybody check out our website, victoriavives.com. Again, I'll put a link right here. And then check it out. You're gonna love her just as much as I love her. She's gonna help you out. Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you so much.
Bye.